Let's talk about the Kiwi Ears Singolo, done by Critical. Stick around. Let's talk about it. The number of collabs coming out in the IEM market is staggering, hard to keep up with. I've liked a few of Critical's. I like Kiwi Ears. I've got the Cadenza, the $35 Cadenza. I've got the Quartet. I would like to try the Orchestra Light. So anyone out there, Hi-Fi Go, Linsel, send it to me. Anyways, I bought this with my own money, so it's not, no one sent this to me. So all thoughts and opinions, just like anything, are my own. So we have here is a $80 IEM, tuned by Critical. And we're going to talk a little bit about it. 11mm dynamic driver, plus the Kiwi acoustic resonance system cars. It's supposed to be new and amazing. It's not new. Anyways, we got to get into it. And might as well just start here. I don't even know if it has the specs on it. Yeah. So 32 ohm, 108 dB. So 32 ohm for a single dynamic driver is actually pretty high. I noticed I had to turn up my IFI Pro Ican here quite a bit to get some good sound out of it. Anyways, let's get into talking about it. Let's first do a kind of a unit tour. So we have here, if you can take a look, is the faceplate. I think the faceplate in the picture looks a lot better than what it actually is. I think you can get this two colorways. Maybe I have a different one. So seems to be a this one seems to be a blue silvery look. I'm not seeing the gold in it. All my other Kiwi Ears are purple, which I quite like. I do like their logo in there and the metallized look of their logo. For $80, you're getting a very cheap cable, probably one of the worst. I think even the Moondrop, like Chew 2, gets a better cable. So for this amount of money to get this kind of cable, I mean, it works. It's fine. It doesn't tangle. There's no memory into it. It's just like a single cable. When you get into the $80, $90, $100 stuff, you're hoping to get a better cable, and apparently Crin is taking all the money away from what could be value add. Obviously in the box you're not getting anything. You're not getting a case. You simply get the IEMs. You're getting the cable, and you're getting 2 crack bags with ear tips, black and clear silicon. So nothing amazing. I'm not going to pop it open for that. So unboxing experience is lackluster, to say the least. But so if you're one of those people that's moving up from a $35 or $50 IEM to a $80 or $90, don't use this as your experience to say, hey, I've got something here. The whole thing is that there's supposed to be this resonance chamber, basically a Helmholtz resonator, or basically it's a notch filter. And if you can take a look there, you will see a tube that goes back and forth, and in speakers there may be something similar to kind of like the Kef Meta, where you can tune the back of the box basically and the driver to dampen out certain frequencies. Nothing different as a notch filter. So basically the Kiwi Ears sound signature, and why this is important, is that Kiwi Ears has a very warm, lush sound to it, or at least the Cadenza and the Quartet. I'm sure the Orchestra Light, some of the higher ends, may have better tuning, not as warm and lush, but certainly for $35, the Cadenza is a great entry to try something warm and lush and smooth, not hyper detailed like you may want with some of the higher end, IEMs. So this looks like the actual Cadenza from a shape standpoint. It's a very generic shape, so it's not like semi-custom shaped. The nozzle is really short, so I actually had to go up in nozzle size just to get this to fit, because it's just really, really small. So this will fit pretty much every ear, but the insertion depth might be a problem for some. It was for me. But basically, look to me, they're tuning the cadenza here and putting on this notch filter. And basically, what they're doing is they're taking a notch, and then not in the sub bass, but in the bass region before the low mids. So basically, to keep away from being that warm lush sound, they're pulling down that bass shelf, so you're not getting bleed through from the bass into the vocals and muddying up the IEM. So it's a much cleaner presentation than the cadenza. I think many more people will enjoy this, although it's $80. I don't know if it's quite worth it, because you do have some of the other critical collabs around $50 that I think it's the X Red or what. I have it. I can't even remember. But it's certainly worth it, to try some of those. The key here is, what Critical is going for is to try to keep a lot of sub bass and not bleed it through. So a lot of people complain with some of the newer tuning frequencies or frequency response of the IEMs, as they claim to get better and better. You're losing more bass because that's where your clarity is at, and usually the sub bass will muddy up everything in the frequency response. So that is kind of what, and I think Critical did it. Although I think the tuning of this IEM is a little bit wonky. Just saying it out loud. I don't think he did a bad job. I just think it's not worth that much. It's $60, $50. Okay, I'm into it. It's a refined cadenza, and it sounds better, and it's worth that. But $80, I think the value is a little bit off. Plenty of other things that I would get, but if you do like bass, this is something that you should consider. So, to put this in perspective, I have a lot of things coming through. I'm listening to a lot of things. I just did a review on the AFO Performer 8 here. Very neutral reference sound. And that may not be for everybody, but if you're a distinguished listener, this thing is amazing for $370. And it's hard to go from something like this to this. So sometimes, that's why I didn't release this right after I got it and listened to it and had my experiences with it. I needed to take this away, listen a little more of this, because this is really, really good, and that can somewhat change your perception of what you're listening to. So, but in the same playing field, we have two IEMs. And before we get to those, let's finish out the sound of this. So you have a lot of, I'll try to drop in a graph. It was a hard time finding them. I'm not sure if people aren't graphing them, or maybe they're not published. I need to get into squig.link and pull some down, but I'll try to find some in the open domain. And I'll have to reference whoever was doing this, Mars Chan Lab, I think. It's the only one I could find, so I'm not even sure if it's correct, but you'll see that it has a lot of bass, or a lot of sub bass. You see the bass drop off to the low mids. So basically, you're getting a good rumble in the low end. I don't normally listen to rap. I was listening to a song, and I got to pull it up here. Let me move some things out of the way so I can get into this. It's a new song. So again, coming from the Performer 8, I was listening to a lot of acoustic music because it's very, very amazing, the detail and level you can get. So I was listening to Jelly Roll, Save Me with Lainey Wilson. It was kind of one of my first songs, actually. Literally just went from the Performer 8 to the Singolo, and it just didn't sound right. There are some very delicate guitar strums in the beginning. It's not just packed with sound. So that's pretty much the only instrument. And what I noticed is the timbre of the guitar strings are off. Number one, that song, the guitars, the strums are not recorded perfectly, or they're in an odd tune, I guess, maybe. So you have to know that going in. If you listen to it blind, you wouldn't understand that. But with a good IEM, you can detect it, and it sounds perfectly fine. When the timbre is off, it just sounds really wonky. And that was my first experience. So I was searching, and I was going to hot songs. I use Amazon Music, and the one that came up it was with Jelly Roll. It's called Wild Ones with Jesse Murph and Jelly Roll. This has a lot of synthetic bass, so a lot of like 808 style bass, and it was coming through. It was really enjoyable. It did not muddy up anything. It sounded fine. So unless you're listening to some delicate acoustic music, single guitar, one man jam kind of stuff, you won't notice it that much. How the timbre is off in the guitar. So great bass, great mid bass. I'm hearing the snare drums come through perfectly good. It's not muddied up by the bass or sub bass. Great. Vocals are great. I was listening to Chris Cornell and Songbook. Excellent, excellent. Again, I highly recommend you go listen to that. The vocals sound great on this IEM. It's only when you get to stringed elements, single string elements, that the timbre you really notice is off. So have a few IEMs and try some acoustic music. You'll understand what I'm talking about. It has great treble energy. Cymbal hits sound good. There's great decay. So from a single dynamic driver, you should expect that. So overall, it's a good tuning. Just the timbre is off. And the other thing that I noticed is it does get congested really quick. So a few things that I was migrating to through my listening experience is that when going to like Korn, early Korn, or Rage Against the Machine, early Rage, that was a period of time where bass guitars were not using high amounts of distortion, and they're definitely something that you can hear in the mix. So it's not a background noise of filling in with some raspy kind of modern metalcore sound, but it just didn't sound right. It got congested. You had great bass when you needed bass. It was good. It just wasn't great, if I can put it that way. And when you have all these drum hits and low bass notes coming in from the bass guitar, it just got muddy and didn't leave me with a great experience. But the early Korn, I know you may not be into rock metal. I love the early Korn, early Rage Against the Machine. I was actually driving my car. I heard it come on the radio, and I had to walk in and listen to it because it brought back a lot of memories, but it wasn't the best listen with these IEMs. So can't say they're genre specific. I just know that I didn't like them with acoustic music, and they're fine with R&B, pop. I think you're going to be fine. But if it's really congested with a lot of instruments in the low region, it just didn't really work for me. In competition, we have a few things here. So we have a $90. This is the SIMGOT EA 500 LM, $90 IEM, full metal build. And you'll notice here, it has a similar shape, but it has this bump out. So the nozzle is longer, and this bump out makes this protrude in your ear a lot better. So the fit and feel of this for $90 it's like twice the amount of IEM just from that. And then listening to it, I found that this gives you a lot more layering and separation. It's not as bassy by far, although you can EQ that in. My IFI Pro Ican here, which impedance matches each IEM. Also, I can do bass boost right on it. So I could get this to the equal level and really not have a problem with it. So for $90, $10 more, this is a winner all day long. And this is not, I'm not saying that this is a bad product. I'm just saying this is a very exceptionally good product for $90. But if you just don't have EQ, you want to plug something in with a lot of bass, you may want to go with the Singolo. Now, most interesting is the A-Full Magic one, which is a single BA IEM. Quite beautiful, and as you can see from the cable here, and I forgot to mention, with the cable for this one is a lot better than this single cable here. So even with the SIMGOT EA 500 LM, you're getting a much better cable unboxing experience. The whole kit and caboodle is better. Obviously, this is $140, so you're stepping up. Much cleaner presentation. Doesn't have as much excitement as the 500 LM, more of a reference sound, more of a step up in sound, I guess, for clarity purposes. Single BA, but you're getting BA bass. But the reason I bring this up, and yes, it's going to be $60 more expensive, but you can get this on sale for around $100. Typically, a couple times a year, it was just on sale for $100, so only $20 more expensive. I can get that up there. What you're going to see is the same kind of notch filter put in there. And I'm not sure, I'm not an acoustic engineer, but I'm sure you can do this in many different ways. But you can see here between the Singolo, the implementation on the AFOL, if I can get that up there, it's a lot bigger, better. These are 3D printed, so this looks like to be a better implementation. So this is, the Singolo is not the first AFOL has been doing it. I'm not sure how long this has been done, but it is not new. But you know, in some of the older IEMs, it may be hidden by, you know, darker resins and, you know, just black shells and stuff like that. But here you can clearly see that they have it. And anyways, I talked about this for 15 minutes. You know, if this is for you, go buy it. I will drop a link below, affiliate link. It'll be Amazon. It's not going to cost you anything. Helps out the channel, free content that you're watching here. So if you can, cost you nothing, just hit the buttons, like, subscribe. Subscribing helps me the most. If you could do that, I graciously appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next video. Peace.